make me feel so.
What's up, scrappers? In this video we've gone to the workshop just to determine different metals with no power tools, just using a file and a magnet. So we start with steel. Everyone knows what steel is. If it's a magnetic, it's rubbish basically. Well, not rubbish, but a steel. So you're only going to get 10 pence a kilo on that. So then we got cast steel. So again, magnetic. You know it's cast because it goes by the name. It's been cast in a mould. So my yard, they give you basically the same price for cast as normal iron. I think if you have like a ton or something, you'll get a bit of a better price on the cast. But for the amount I come across as an e-waste scrapper, I don't get much cast iron, to be honest. So yeah, so that's the steel. So now onto the aluminium. So we have just sheet aluminium. This bit I bent up just to get it in the vise. Obviously it's not magnetic, so it's aluminium. Good way you can always check, just a quick way, aluminium soft, easily scratchable. You feel it digs in, no problem. So that's one way. Again, just scratches really easy. Aluminium, it's always light, so that's easy enough to determine what that is. Everyone knows what that is. Again, same as the cast steel, so we have cast aluminium. Again, if I can get that in there, that will do. Again, so this is just cast aluminium, doesn't stick to the magnet. Also you get zinc, which is very similar to cast aluminium. It's got the same sort of texture on the outside. To be honest, most yards, they just take this zinc with your cast aluminium. So again, it's soft, so you can scratch it. Scratches really easy, just using the edge of the magnet. Again, if you use a file, it comes off in like little chunks. If you look at it closely, if we can find it, you can see because it's soft, it just digs in, so it comes out in little chunks. Then we have extruded aluminium. So basically what that means, it's been pushed through a machine. So all these little bits here where there's air now was aluminium before, so it's been machined. So you get this on heat sinks in computers, heat sinks on most circuit boards. So again, because it's aluminium, it's not magnetic. Always get that nice sound. Exactly the same as cast, that just come off in chunks when you try and file it down. Again, that scratch is really easy. Can't really do it with one hand, to be honest. Should have put it in the vise. So you can see there, scratch is really easy. Right, so now onto stainless steel. So again, it's very, very, very slightly magnetic. Very, very slightly. It's just like the tiniest pull. If there's something smaller, you'd just be able to get a slight pull on it. Usually it's with like cookware, anything where it can rust a lot, so the inside of dishwashers. And if you try and use a file on it, it's really hard, like steel. So it's really hard to that scratches. Where is it? There it is. So it scratches, but it's not like aluminium. It won't come off in chunks because it's a very hard metal. Not magnetic, like I say, very, very small magnetic pull on it. It's nearly always shiny. Like I say, it's in anything that rusts, so which may rust, so cookware, anything that gets wet a lot. So that's stainless. Alright, so now we're on to brass. So this is out of a light switch. So brass, again, non-magnetic. When you're taking brass in, if it has a little bit of copper on there, you can always leave a little bit of copper on, because brass has copper in there. You want to take any iron off it, otherwise you're going to get like a dirty brass price. And brass, there we go. So when you scratch it, you'll get that kind of goldy yellow look to it. There we go, if we get it in the light. So that's one way of knowing brass. So you get the yellowy sort of tinge underneath. So that's brass. And then, well, this is white brass out of an antenna, so that's out of a stereo. So, again, just file that down. Again, non-magnetic because it's brass. If we can get this in the light, you can see under there it's the same as the other brass. You get that yellow, goldy sort of tinge underneath. So that's obviously white brass. So that's an easy one to identify. Just give it a good scratch, or a good file down, should I say. Then we have lead. This is the only bit of lead I had at the moment. Well, I've got a few other bits like this, but yeah, I weighed in my lead quite recently. So lead, really malleable, so it moves around. It's really soft. As you can see here, look how easily it scratches. I'm not putting, it's literally the weight of the file, that is. So it scratches really easy. If you want to taste it, it probably tastes like pencil lead, but I don't really go down that route, to be honest. So that's lead. And it's always heavy. Lead's pretty heavy for what it is. Like this little bit here. Alright, there's not much air, but it's got a good bit of weight to it. To be honest, it's not. It's a little bit lighter. But there's a good weight to lead. You can tell what lead is, definitely, especially if you buy a roll of lead and pick it up. It's deceiving how heavy it actually is. Then we have number 1, copper. So as everyone knows, copper is not magnetic, even though it's used in motors where they use the magnetic force. And then most things you can tell which are copper. As soon as you see them, you know it's copper, but you can give it a little bit of a file down. In copper you get that nice red coppery colour to it. Don't know if I can get, there we go. So it's like a browny red kind of colour to it underneath. And then we have copper number 2. So copper number 2 is anything with like a lacquer, painted, basically it's anything which, if it's got like a covering of anything, and that's copper number 2. So this is out of a TV yoke. It's solid because it's got like the lacquer on there which keeps it shape. I hammer these down just to get more room in my bucket or in my tub, so I just hammer them flat, otherwise I take up too much space as they are. And yeah, copper number 2 is basically anything which is super thin. So they say copper number 1 is anything the size of the lead on a pencil or bigger. So that would be copper number 1. Anything thinner than that, which you can see little strands on this one, is copper number 2. So guys, I don't think I missed anything out. So yeah, hopefully this helps you out. On anyone who's new to scrapping, anyone who's been scrapping a while is gonna just overlook this video and say, what, you're trying to teach me how to suck eggs? But anyone who's starting out, hopefully this will help them out, determine what metals are what. And like I say, if you're out and about, all I do, I've got a little bag like this, and all I keep in there is a file, wire cutters, a magnet, and that's all you really need, to be honest, when you're trying to determine metals when you're out and about. Yeah, I keep a couple of screwdrivers in there, obviously. So yeah, hopefully guys, this helps you out, and keep scrapping.